week would have been the UB on the campus, because I think the campus policy is they don't discriminate. So it was going to be held there, I think, in the various rooms and stuff. But now, because of COVID, it's all going to be Zoom. So it's safe, because everybody's going to be on their computer or their phone. It's not going to be a gathering because of the social distancing. So now it's going to be safe, because everything is going to be Zoom meetings, Zoom presentation.
So if it would, for COVID, would you feel that it would have been safe, or it would have been an easy going thing to happen on UV is my question, because I'm guessing that it's still going to continue as the years go on, if I'm not correct. So what would you think the future will hold for this community in the Bahamas?
I'm going to say this to you. As a director of SASH, I got the opportunity to travel throughout the Caribbean. And I can tell you, no matter how it seems like it's rough here in the Bahamas is the most tolerable Caribbean country based on what I hear goes on in the Caribbean. I think our people get upset when you flaunt stuff in their face. But I don't see them to be that savage in doing. They would be like, oh, that's the thing going on over there, you know. And I think too the leaders or the management of the college wouldn't allow it if they themselves felt there would really be a situation. I mean, I must say to you, I'm not a part of the Pride organization and the Pride committee in a whole lot. I'm asked to speak on it, so there's not much I could say on how they've been dealing with whatever they've been going through, because I'm just will be on the panelist. So that's the best thing I can say. But as an experienced man in the Bahamas and dealing with folks, I remember we had a gay club out Coral Harbor, and the gay club was at one end of the plaza, and a heterosexual club was at the other end. No issues. Compared to Jamaica, everybody's car would have been set on fire, and they would have terrorized, or stuff. Or Trinidad, if you go in through the airport and the immigration guy asks you if you're a gay man, they have the right to then turn you around and put you back on the plane.
Wow.
See, the different countries got different laws, and Guyana, but the Bahamas, I call it, my DMC is called HIPS, Happy in Paradise Service, because I think it's a paradise for persons who, involved in LGBTIQ, because the Bahamians, like I said, they don't like you flaunting things, and don't try to force anything on them, but they tend to show, for me, I'm 59, I'll be 60 next year. I have 2 beautiful children, 5 grandkids, been married, know a lot of stuff. And I'd be on the radio having discussion. I don't get no kind of threats, nothing. Because, again, once you're able to articulate your conviction, they just say, well, hey, I understand you, and you respect them. And I show people respect. So I think, one, like I say, the management of the college, I don't think they would have allowed it if they felt it would really be a big issue. Because it's, I think that would be considered, even though it's a public property, you just don't come on there to then do things. But now as the future go, again, as people get knowledge, people come against what they don't understand. So as people get to know what's going on, it's just like the 3 types of homosexuality I mentioned. People like to say, well, I don't put these gay people on an island or a whole lot. And I always look at the movie Endgame with Thanos, that want God to then take them away, right? But if God was like Thanos and snap his finger that every person who was involved in same-sex activity was to vanish, you'd be surprised to know who would be vanishing around you. Because see, we go, you're feminine or you're gay. But let me tell you something, 1% of the community feminine. The rest of them, if they ain't tell you, you ain't gonna know.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I have a question.
Sure.
My question is, do you think that it's fair that the age of consent for homosexuals is 18 and the age for heterosexuals is 16? Because, like the example you gave with the 17-year-old boy, if his birthday is in November and you, an older man, and have sex with him in December, it'd still be considered statutory rape. I feel like, wouldn't that be the same thing with heterosexuals if an older person was to get with an underage person?
Oh, yes. I mean, like I say, the heterosexual is 16 for consent of the person. And in our community is 18. I don't think it's fair. I think all should be 18 and over, honestly, from my perspective. Heterosexual, same sex, 18 and over, because most of the time they didn't even know what they want in life at the age of 16. So if I was the advocate to change the law, I wouldn't be trying to change it to get it down. No, I'd be trying to get the heterosexuals to give us consent at 18 also. Anyone else? Hey, every day you can get somebody like me so whatever you're thinking, please, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. That's why my mentor have me here, right, Miss Panet?
I have one more question, Mr. Robbins.
Sure.
Dealing with the regressive homosexuality that you touched on in your presentation today, I see you had neurotic and regressive, the regression one. So my question is, for those people, I'm guessing those who are in the regression who plays as if, well, not playing, but who are masculine, who share in same-sex activities, but, basically live the double life. And if they were to confide in you, say for instance, a man married for 15 years, he's been battling with homosexuality for years, and he's been dipping and, tasting the rice and eating it and going home and feeding his kids and different stuff. What would be the advice for him? Would it be that he's allowed to continue doing what he's doing, or because it's a safe space? Or would it be advised, I guess, for him to, step up and speak out on what he really wants to be? Or I don't know if this is a question or a statement.
I'm getting the gist of your question.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I feel like in those cases, both lose if the man stays, but what would be the procedure that will be taken to step him in the direction that he wants to actually go instead of the situation that he's in?
Well, what I normally, when I do have the conversation, and what's going on really today, a lot of the guys who tend to have did stuff for their family and a whole lot are coming to the conclusion that they want to break free. So sometimes between the husband and wife, based on with kids and a whole lot, they might live in the same home, but they're doing their activities away privately and that stuff. Then it's most guys nowadays who were married, they either get divorced or separated, but they're doing their own thing. When I get to speak with them on what they're doing, I have to listen to what they're saying, see where the root of it came from, and I just try to say, man, you got to do the right thing. And I mean, it's not going to be easy. It was hard back then to decide maybe to be disowned from the family, to get cut off from the inheritance, to not get that job position, so you then covered up, but the Bible says a lie can only be covered for so long, the truth will be forever. But then you need to have that courage to want to face the truth. Being truthful ain't easy, because sometimes it can be very painful. So I try to give him information for him to make the choice to do the right thing. Normally when I'm on a talk show, and I try to deal with the DL guys and the trade boys, I say, now listen, to you guys out there, you know you got a girlfriend, you know you got a wife, you say you love them, but you're out here having sex with guys, you're not using protection. Even if it ain't for them, use protection, because you're gonna destroy people's life. And then they go like, well, why don't you tell them to stop? Hey, God tell us to stop doing all kind of things, and we ain't stop. I can't change a man. I can only try to play with his mind and say, at least start by using protection, especially if you can go home to your partner. But protection, and that stuff. But I try to give information for them to make the right choice, but I can't make the choice for them. Their children. I knew when I gave my life to the Lord at 22, I struggled with same-sex activity until I was about 14. I gave into the community, then I got saved, got married, and most of that was for all the wrong reason. But when I got my kids and I had to protect them. I had to start to get them slowly to realize that sooner or later someone is going to tell you your father was a gay man in his past life. So I nurtured them and prepared them that when it did happen in school and a whole lot, they were able to stand strong and, defend. That's my father. He told us not only that, he's always been on the radio and TV, so what's your point? He ain't like he hiding it. He hit it, And so most people don't sit down and think about what the consequences going to come of living that small lie. But it really becomes real serious and real dangerous when they have to make the choice now to come clean or die with the lie. But I only could give them advice. They would then make the choice. Can't have that double standard.
Has there been an increase in the rate of HIV/AIDS among MSMs?
Yes, according to the meeting we had, Dr. Back then, I think we were 3% in the community. Now it's 19.
Wow.
Yeah, and see the thing of it is again too, like I say, a lot of the problem is coming from the MSMs. Because see, men go to get men where women would normally go to get men. The food store, the gym, the church, fish fry, Chunkanu practice, wherever and they make their moves.
Okay, got you. Okay.
They make their moves and they do.
For a minute.
Oh, sorry?
I said you were frozen there for a minute, but you're back. We hear you again.
Okay, so did you get to hear what I said though?
I missed part of it.
No, I said gay men go to where women will normally go to meet and find guys. The food store, the gym, the church, Chunkanu practice, fish fry, the clubs, wherever. They be there and they got their signals. They got their eye movement, their what's up type thing, and and they make their move. And again, too, situation happens, and before you know it, they're having fun, not committed relationship, having fun, and then they pass on. And so a lot of persons, because they're not talking about it, they're not coming to my organization, they're not identifying as the community, they then do a lot of unprotected sex. We still have the same problem that we had back then with the MSMs. The gay guys, they want to live. They want to be the fashion king and queen, and they want to excel and live life. So they're gonna learn about condom use, lubricant use, and all that stuff. It's the guys who trying to fake it.
Any other questions from the class? Okay, if there are no other questions, Mr. Rollins, thank you so much for taking the time. And as you said, when next will they have a chance to ask questions to someone like you?
Well, if I could just give a closing thing.
Yes.
I want to say that, firstly, a gay man don't want every male man they see. Everybody have their types and likes. Frankly, we have had situation where a straight guy would accuse a gay guy of liking him, and he said, "But boy, you even ain't my type." The fella then spend the next couple of days trying to figure why I ain't your type. That's the confusion. So that myth needs to be destroyed. That at the end of the day, because someone gay, they want you. Right? A gay person is really struggling, so they kind of want heterosexual friends to maybe even help them in some of the things and decision they make, but most of the time they get pushed into a box to then get with other gay persons or perverts or persons who may exploit them in a whole lot. So I would say this to say, if you got a brother, a cousin, a niece, a nephew, and a whole lot, sit down, ask them why you think the way you think, why you feeling the way you're feeling. No judgment, no condemnation. Let them give you their story, because you'll be surprised to know it all starts with the battlefield of the mind. And like I say, if they're not able to talk to somebody, that will determine where they go from there. It's a learned behavior for me. Now, I'm saying this for me. The community will knock me out, but my experience is it's a learned behavior. Why else the Bible says now that you're in Christ, you have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to renew. You got to unlearn what you learn and learn something. That's how I put it down. all right? But support, find out, and sometimes you might be able to assist. Like I said, the whole addiction, pleasure to addiction becomes a problem, but with the right thing. And you shouldn't be trying to change a guy from being gay to have sex with a girl, because if he ain't doing it for the right reason, all they're gonna do is mess up. Make sure that's, he knows who he is, why he is, what he doing, how he doing. And if he goes to God, he goes to God because that's what God wanted him to come to him for him, not to make him like female or not like male. God will then do the work. He said the wheat and tares will go together. I will sort them out at the end of the day. So again, thank you for having me.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Great. Thank you. Can you send me information on the Pride Week, please?
Okay, well, one more thing.
I think you have to register. People would have to register to participate, right?
Yeah, I'll forward it to you. One more thing. Joey Gaskin did a paper. It's called 16 Gaskin, and you can pull it on Google, Boogery and the Commonwealth Caribbean Comprehensive Examination of Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago. It's in-depth stuff giving you. So you guys that could help you real with understanding, and compassion comes when you understand.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the Pride information.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Great, great.